Edgar TV.
Now, anyone who's picked up a dart will tell you that the pinnacle to darts is playing in the World Championships, playing at the Alexandra Palace in the PDC. Now, this is something that I've grew up watching all along, so as I've said in previous videos, I didn't want to go down to watch the World Championships at any point, because I did believe that one day I'd be playing in it, and that was my goal, to play in the World Championships. I remember staying up late watching Phil Taylor versus Eric Bristow when it used to be at the Circus Tavern, along with many other classic games across the years. But as a player, and especially for the first time, the World Championship starts when you're sat watching Sky Sports News at home and you're watching the draw coming out, and you're just watching, waiting for your name to come out. You know what number you are, you don't really know the other numbers, so you're not really sure, but it's all exciting still nonetheless. You're just watching the draw, it's brilliant. You've got a Chinese, your friends, your family are there, your phone's buzzing all the time, like, oh, you didn't want that, or you wanted that, or what do you think to the one you've got? It's all chaos at that point, but that's where it really begins. As soon as the draw comes out, not long after the schedule's out, and you've roughly got about 2-3 weeks to get yourself ready, so you've got plenty of time to get on the practice board and sort of make sure that you feel prepared and that you're bringing the confidence to the event rather than trying to take confidence from the board. Now, as I mentioned, I hadn't been down there before, and you hear all these things about like going up the hill and seeing the venue and all these feelings that you get, and I thought I'd best just go and check this out quickly. So I went down there, filmed an episode of Edgar TV where I turned up a couple of weeks early. This was like in the original days of Edgar TV. We were still very new to it at this point. I think this was only actually the second ever Edgar TV episode, and it went quite well actually. This was an interesting one to say the least, but yeah, this is Edgar TV at its best. Now, this is a look back video, so I'm looking back and talking about what it was like. I do have a video here, the UK Open 2020 from this year, which is on my channel, where I speak about as it went, so as it goes this year. And the reason I bring this up is because going down the day early is very important, and in this video it will show you as well why going down the day early is very important to get that preparation time. So we headed down the day before the match. Now, obviously there are different versions of ourselves, and unfortunately in the sort of getting ready for this, I was looking at it through this young man's eyes right here, the guy stood here with Phil Taylor, as the fan that was going to go make his dream come true of playing in the World Championship. And I made some very simple mistakes that are slightly unsettling. I forgot things like my hair gel. I like to gel my hair. I forgot, and I go back to that very quickly. You'll be surprised at how hard it is to get some hair gel in Brent Cross where we was. My shirts, I've got new shirts, they didn't arrive on time. You know, just little simple things like this that just a little bit unsettling. You know, I'm walking around London on the game of the match day, and I'm just like, why is there no hair gel? I ended up getting some mousse, I think it was. So we booked a taxi and that didn't arrive, so we stood around waiting. And really, you've got to go down about 45 minutes early, because although it's only a couple of miles hotel to venue, in London you just don't know what to expect. But we got to the venue eventually, we got inside, we got the programmes, we signed in, did all the registration and everything, sat down briefly, looking around the room, looking at like the practice boards, looking just generally around the room. There's like murals on the wall of previous champions and the history of the event. You're reading through the programme. But I played in majors before, but I never really understood how much you need to do before the World Championship Games, so I had to go do some interviews and some media work, more photos, two lots of photos to be precise actually. So there's a lot more media go into this than goes into any other majors that I've played in so far. But after a good sort of 45 minutes or so of swanning around and doing a few other bits, I saw this site, and this was the site I'm most familiar with, the dartboard. So despite everything that was going on around me, I was now in that familiar world. I was stood 7'9" away from this, and there was one little difference though. I noticed that on the stage, because of the title sponsors of the event, the ring around the outside was blue rather than red like we normally have, and there was a couple of boards that had blue rings on them, so I wanted to make sure that I practiced on one of the blue boards, which was fine because there's roughly about a board per person backstage. I mean, one might have two people on, but there's plenty of boards that you can have a board to yourself if you want to do that. Now, although you've got the main practice room, which is where like your family and your friends and everything are, and this ain't it by the way, this is just a photo to symbolise a more relaxed environment where your family and friends are. The game before you go down to like a little holding room where there's two practice boards, your toilet and everything, and it's just sort of slightly off to the side of the stage there. This is the moment you know stuff gets real. And Luke Humphries just went on stage to play Adam Hunt the game before me, our second game on. And you think, right, we've got probably about an hour here because that'll be quite a good close game. But Luke Humphries ran away with this 3-0. I think he lost just one leg, so was on a lot quicker than we expected, to be fair, for this game. But being the higher ranked player of the two, it meant that I get to walk on second, so I get to stand at the side, and this is sort of my view. So I'm sort of just stood at the side of the rampway there, just waiting for Darius to go by, and this was like one last chance for me just to get settled in and get ready for the moment. And again, anyone who's played, especially from youth darts upwards like I did, will always dream of that first moment in the World Championship and what that first dart's going to do. A conversation we had many times when we was at Great Yarmouth in the youth days, and there it was, the first dart, treble 20, very happy with that. Followed it up actually by my first visit ever in the World Championship being 125. Now there's two things you'll never prepare for at the Ali Pali, and it must be something to do with the acoustics of the place. One's the noise, you can hardly even hear the caller calling out the scores, and the next one is the heat. The heat is incredible. It was so hot up there. I don't normally sweat in games, but I was struggling in this. Had to untuck my shirt because it was so hot in that venue. But if you look where this arrow's pointing you here, there's like a little air vent there, and just behind the water, sort of like a little cool breeze that you can occasionally go over and just sort of cool yourself down a little bit there. But back to the game, and I took the opening set, played okay, missed a few doubles to win the set, but ended up taking it in the end. Even gave it a little mini Edgar, nothing like we got this year in terms of celebrations, but we gave it the mini one. Came back out, broke the throw straight away in the second set, kicked off really well, 140. Darius didn't hit a treble, and then I hit this 96, and I remember it clearly. I thought, I've got this. Worst thing I could have done. All went wrong from there, lost 3-1. This set off what can be described as a bit of a downward spiral, really. Lifelong ambition to play in the World Championships. You get there, you get in that good position, and then the wheels fell off, and I felt powerless at the time. And that kind of ruined December in a way. There you are, 1 minute on the biggest stage in the world, living your dream, and the next you're looking at your calendar and thinking, I ain't got a game of darts now for 6 weeks. Big layoff, Christmas tree didn't go up. I didn't really watch much darts because it hurt, knowing you was there and it didn't go how you wanted it to or how you envisioned it and planned it your whole life. So yeah, it was a quiet Christmas, and we went back to it in January.
Edgar TV.
If you're new around here, guys, hit that subscribe button and follow me on my journey with the darts. I'll also share some tips and advice and different various bits. It's a bit of an everything darts sort of based channel. If you're not new around here and you haven't hit the subscribe button, why not?